Imagine going from gazing at the stars to getting caught up in a scandal that lights up the internet like a supernova. That's the saga of Andy Byron, former astronomer turned tech executive, and until recently, the CEO of data company Astronomer, who, in the span of days, allegedly managed to detonate his reputation twice. First came a viral kiss cam moment at a Coldplay concert that social media instantly branded Coldplay Gate.
28-year-old Grace Springer was at the concert at the Gillette Stadium in Boston and captured the moment that has now been viewed 53 million times.
I could have never guessed that it would be such high-profile individuals in the video. I do feel sorry for their partners and spouses that they had to find out this way.
Then, as the memes were still multiplying, whispers morphed into headlines. Claims that Byron had spent as much as $40,000 on content and private calls with an OnlyFans creator, all while married. Whether every detail holds up or not, the narrative is jaw-dropping. A respected leader's personal choices colliding with the panopticon of modern internet culture. If you thought stargazing was dramatic, wait until you see what happens when a public figure's private orbit destabilizes. Buckle up. We're diving into a story where romance, receipts, and reputations intersect, and nothing stays in the dark for long. Our story begins on what should have been a harmless night out. A mid-July Coldplay concert. Phones high, lights low, the crowd ready for anthems. The stadium's kiss cam cruises over happy couples and lands on Andy Byron and Kristen Cabot, Astronomer's chief people officer. What happens next is the kind of 5-second clip that defines a week online. They're seen cuddling, close enough that strangers in the cheap seats draw conclusions. The camera lingers, the crowd reacts, and thousands of phones catch it all as the moment ricochets across TikTok, X, and Instagram. Within hours, the post-concert glow turns to heat. Commenters don't just see two people in a blurry embrace, they see a married CEO and his company's HR chief in a very public, very awkward tableau. The optics are combustible, power dynamics, workplace policy, marriage vows, all compressed into a looping, shareable GIF.
Oh, look at these two. All right, come on, you're okay? Oh, what? Either they're having an affair or they're just very shy.
As the clip circulates, the hashtags multiply. Memes riff on Coldplay lyrics. Side-by-side screenshots speculate about who's who and what's what. And inside Astronomer, according to reports, leaders field questions from employees who don't need an official memo to know this is going to be a problem. The real accelerant is still off stage, and it's about to arrive in the most 2025 way possible, as screenshots. Just as the kiss cam chatter starts to plateau, a new headline explodes. Leaked messages allegedly between Byron and Sophie Rain, an OnlyFans creator. The claim: behind the scenes, Byron maintained a secret account to chat with Sophie, requesting explicit video calls and offering eye-watering sums for them, up to $40,000 for a private session. Even in an era desensitized to influencer economics, that number lands like a cymbal crash. Is it exaggerated? Is it real? The internet doesn't wait for forensic accounting. It does what it always does, assembles a narrative fueled by screenshots that appear to show casual talk of marriage status, quick call timing, and big offers. The alleged route these messages take to the public adds another twist. They're said to have been surfaced by Byron's wife, Megan. It's the classic scorned spouse reveal. Not a rumor from a random forum, but a leak pinned to someone intimately connected to the story. That context changes the temperature, and then Sophie Rain speaks, carefully. She declines to name clients, calls the situation crazy, condemns cheating, and even offers support to Megan. It's a statement that tries to thread a needle, maintaining professional discretion while distancing herself from the ethics of infidelity. The internet, predictably, splits. Some applaud the empathy, others call the posture ironic. Either way, the effect is the same. The story grows. What began as a single viral moment now has multiple voices, multiple angles, and the irresistible gravity of morality play. Vows broken, money spent, receipts revealed. As social feeds churn, another figure enters, Camila Araujo, influencer and co-founder of a creator house. She claims she's seen broader receipts, suggesting Byron's spending wasn't a one-off, but part of a larger pattern, allegedly over $250,000 across multiple creators, including those in her circle. It's a headline-ready number, not the price of a fancy vacation, but the down payment on a house, or the whole house, depending on your zip code. Again, these are claims, not court exhibits. But in the attention economy, big round numbers have big round impact. Camila says she reached out to Megan, encouraging her, reminding her she's not alone. The narrative coheres. The wife wronged, the creators condemning cheating, the influencer community circling wagons around Megan rather than the paying client. For a certain slice of the internet, that's the plot twist. Not that a man paid for adult content, but that the adult content world publicly sides with the spouse. Inside Astronomer, the cleanup continues. After Byron's exit, Kristen Cabot, the HR leader in the Kiss Cam clip, reportedly resigns days later. It's a corporate reflex as old as PR. Remove the epicenter, reduce the noise, reassure employees, reassure customers.
He's married with teenage children. Kristen Cabot has been divorced for 3 years. She was hired just 8 months ago. And now that 15 seconds of video is having a devastating impact on both of their lives.
Compliance teams quietly review policies. Managers answer awkward questions. Slack channels self-police the memes. Everyone wants to get back to roadmaps and revenue, but the reality is that companies are human systems. When a story this loud erupts at the top, it reverberates all the way down. And what of Byron? Publicly, he goes silent. No mea culpa, no press conference, no carefully lawyered statement beyond the act of stepping down. Silence can be strategy, let the cycle move on, or simply the absence of good options. On transparency, phones record, DMs leak, and very little that happens in private stays that way once a personal conflict escalates. For Megan, the emotional calculus is more intimate than any of that. The public sees headlines. A spouse lives the consequences. It's easy to dunk on public figures. Easier still when the material writes itself. But beyond the punchlines, this story is also a case study in how quickly narratives harden and how carefully they should be handled. The Kiss Cam clip is real. The interpretations are subjective. The DMS look damning. Screenshots can be misleading. The money numbers are spectacular. They're also, at this stage, allegations. That doesn't mean the claims are false. It means responsible storytelling notes the difference between what's been reported and what's been proven. Yet the internet gets a few things right. It recognizes power asymmetries at work. It grasps that HR leaders bear special responsibility. It calls out infidelity and the casual shrug that can accompany it. It empathizes, sometimes performatively, sometimes genuinely, with the person most harmed. And it reminds public figures that the separation between professional brand and private behavior is vanishingly thin.
This is the guy that is his head of HR. They were caught in an obvious embrace. And as soon as that cam went on them and they saw their image up on the thing, it was the worst cover-up ever. She turned her back to the camera and he just he looked totally humiliated, embarrassed.
What do you think? Is this saga an internet pile-on or a fair reckoning? Did the culture overreact? Or did a leader's private choices collide with public trust in a way that demanded consequences? However you answer, one thing's certain. The internet always finds out, and when it does, the view isn't always stellar.